Man, I've been talking for 10 minutes and then I realized I forgot to push the record button. So have to do it again. So today's Saturday, May 3rd, I think. And it's my turn to work. And my first trip, I got lucky, I'm going out of town. So Friday night, before going home, I asked my dispatcher, I said, what do we have for Saturday? And he says, well, there's this one here, RT scissor lift, and it's going like 90 kilometers east of Calgary. And I said, can I do it? He says, okay. And so this morning, when I showed up for work, that main dispatcher, he never works weekends. And so I asked the lady that does the dispatch, I said, the main guy said I can do the RT lift out of town. And she said, let me check on the computer if you put your name on it. And she checks and she says, yeah, it's yours. Cool. So I jumped into the Freightliner, did the inspection, filled out the inspection book, grabbed the key to the lift from our board in the shop, went over to the RT lift, started it, drove it out to the truck, loaded on, put 2 chains on it because it's under 10,000 pounds, and stopped for fuel at the petrol pass. So now I'm full of fuel, full of DEF, and Apple Maps could not find it, so I went and asked the dispatcher. I said, like, there's no town name on the paperwork, like it just says Range Road so and so and building number. She opened Google, and Google right away found it. So I thought it was somewhere north of Calgary, and it shows east, straight east, past Strathmore. And so I'm in a good mood today because I checked my bank account in the morning, because yesterday I was talking to the insurance guy. I said, so where is the money? When am I getting the payout? Oh, I'm still waiting for approval. I checked at 10 p.m., nothing. And then this morning I had a strange feeling, let me check. It's like 5:30 in the morning. I got up early. I checked my bank account and I see a nice round number in there. So basically, yeah, I'm not fixing the Jeep. They paid me the money, so at least now I don't have to worry about the deductible. Screw it. So I'll be driving it until the wheels fall off. Like many people do it here. And also I found our shop has some tarps. And they say I can take them, and those tarps have padding inside. And my dispatcher says that's what some people actually use to protect vehicles from hail. But I'm definitely buying something because I need to protect both the Durango and the Jeep from more damage.
Turn right onto 18 Trail Northeast.
So of course the bad thing about taking the payout is that decreases the value of the compass, right? And I read about this online. So that can be dangerous. Let's say somebody hits me, right? And it's a write-off. And let's say they value the car at, I don't know, $40,000, but it has damage, right? Which they assessed it at $17,000. So they're not going to give me 40, they're going to give me 23, And that's what got some people into trouble. And then, of course, you're on the hook, you're upside down, But, I drive carefully, I park far away from buildings, and I have the second vehicle. Screw it. So I took the money. So I called one number, no reply. So I just sent him a message saying that I'm on my way. ETA is 8:30 a.m. Then I called another number I saw on the paperwork, and this guy's sleepy voice, and he says I said, is it a house? He says it's a farm. Just park it out of the way so you don't block, vehicles and garage entrances. And then he says, interesting thing, he says, I'm not gonna be there, but I'll be later in the day I'll stop by later in the day because they promise rain tomorrow, so I want to put it under like some kind of shelter he has there. But my paperwork says the customer would like the machine as early as possible. And that's the same as in trucking, you know. I remember when I was doing dry van work, you know, like my first couple of years when I worked for Challenger Motor Freight as a semi-truck driver, dispatcher pushes me and he says it's urgent, you know, otherwise that factory is gonna stop. Like they're waiting for this load, it's critical, so go, 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 go. So I had some parts. And I remember it was for London, Ontario, some kind of a factory in there, and they were dying for this particular load. So go, 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 like seriously, right? Urgent, emergency, don't stop, don't take a leak, you know, don't drink coffee, go, go, go. And so I arrived there, and there's a bunch of trailers in the yard of this place. I park the truck and then I go see the shipping receiving. And nobody pays me any attention. I stand there for like 10 minutes. So finally I, excuse me, you know, and the guy says, yeah, can we help you? I say, yeah, I have this load, you know, they said it's hot load. You guys are pretty much stopping all production here if you don't receive it. So, and he says, can I see a paperwork? So I show him the paperwork. He says, this, we have 3 trailers with this. Just park it anywhere in the yard. Like drop the trailer anywhere in the yard. Like this was my first time when, you know, until then I thought dispatches were, you know, were straight shooters, but turns out it's a lot of BS.
Take the Alberta 201 South ramp.
So factory was not stopping production because they have that part
For 1.5 kilometers.
in, you know, plenty of that stuff. What I brought in the trailer. And so same here. Paperwork says the customer would like it as soon as possible. I call the customer. He says, I'm not there, but I'll stop by later in the day. So, and that's trucking. That's every phase of trucking. It's always like this. They always push on the driver, go, 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 whether the customer needs it or not, you know. But they just think that if they don't tell the driver to hurry, he will stop somewhere for lunch for 2 hours, you know, and all that good stuff. Yeah, so I'm taking 201 south on the east side of Calgary, and then I'm gonna take 16th Avenue or Trans-Canada 1 and go east towards Saskatchewan for 1 hour. And the first order of business when I get home, when I'm gonna do some Uber today, but tomorrow I'm gonna go and find me a good bike. Because remember I had that folding bike that I got a flat on the rear wheel. And so I sold it as is for $100 because it was too small for me, you know, and there was some issues with gears. And so the guy who bought it, he bought it for his wife. He looks like he's a mechanic. So I told him, I said, yeah, the rear tire is flat, so you need to buy a new tube. And I said, sometimes there's issues with going into gear 1. And he said, oh, it's okay, I'll adjust it. So for somebody who knows how to do it, that's pretty simple. And so I did not lie to him. I told him what you know, the 2 issues, right? Flat tire and that slight, it was like overshooting. The chain, you know, when you go into gear 1, the chain would go too far. And so Monday, because the weather's great, I want to start biking to work. I'm not going to use my vehicle because I need exercise. I want to improve my, you know, overall condition, exercise more, lose weight, all that good stuff, you know. And so when it's only 7 kilometers
use the right 2 lanes to
from my home to my work.
Then use the left 2 lanes to take the
So it takes half an hour, 40 minutes. So that would be a good exercise. So that's the plan. And I saw some nice bikes on the Canadian Tire website. Not too
Use
expensive,
the left 2 lanes to take the Alberta 1 East ramp.
but I want to get like a decent bike, you know, with big wheels, comfortable handlebars, you know.
Continue for 2 kilometers.
And this is a ramp to Highway 1, Trans-Canada. I'm just going over it now. And now I'm looping back. And there's a gas station. There's a weight station over there, inspection station. And I don't have any logbooks because we are a local carrier. We don't need logbooks. I only have my inspection book, and I have all my documents. I know where they are, like registration and stuff like that. But just in case, I'm ready, because those guys can be real idiots. And this is Trans-Canada 1, and we're heading east. First there'll be Chestermere, and then there'll be Strathmore. So a nice little ride. If I see some interesting trucks or loads, I'll show you guys. We're passing Chestermere. They have a beautiful lake over here. Lights on the sign are off, so the inspection station is closed. Otherwise I would have to go in here. So I just passed Strathmore. It's not very big. Highway 16 goes right through it. And I'm still on Highway 1, sorry. Trans-Canada 1. And in 19 kilometers I'm turning north or left on, what is this, 561, and then I follow that one for 12 kilometers, and that's my destination, some kind of a farm on a remote range road. Range Road 220. As you can see, it's gravel, and I have like 2 kilometers to my destination. So I thought it was this far, so it's probably another one. Oh, probably the one on the right there in the distance. Okay. Somebody has a stem deck trailer, all bent, vodka. Well, this is my destination. some very old trucks in here. The guy wanted me to drop it on the gravel, not on dirt. Everything is open. I think there might be somebody here. Oh, there's gravel in there in front of the shop. Now check out this. Looks like Russian ГАЗ-53. It's old Chevy truck. And they have some old trucks over there. Alright, let's park this thing and get out of here. So it turns out the guy I talked to on the phone, he's a contractor. And when I came here, a guy came out of the building. Turns out he's the farm owner. And I wanted to show you guys those cool machines over there. Check this out. He has a whole collection of these old tractors. And what is it? Old International truck, GMC. And I'm heading back. So now I'm using Apple Maps. It says it's 59 minutes, 97 kilometers. So I'll be back in the shop at 10 minutes to 10, roughly 10 o'clock. So half of the day is gone. Beautiful. And then it's 1 more hour. Usually I take my lunch break at 11. So great. You know, I love these out of town trips, you know. You don't have to deal with traffic, and you know, at least they say one of the big problems, you know, in the city is that, you know, your eyes have nowhere to go. You know, like there's always buildings and stuff like that, right? Whereas a million years ago, people lived like this, you know, open fields where you can see like 20, 30 kilometers away, and that psychologically is bad, you know, when you're looking somewhere and there's buildings everywhere, right? So here it's open space as far as I can see, and the air quality today does not seem to be very good, so it's like hazy, but that's okay. All right, back to work.